Good evening, everybody. System Chalk here with the 9th episode of the Exile. There's a little bit of housekeeping to do for the week's work, so I wanted to go into the main menu, and it's just a chance to talk about a few things. So, this video will be going live after the demo for Book of Hours has come out. So there is an event going on Steam called Next Fest. For those of you unfamiliar with Next Fest, it's basically a big opportunity for a lot of developers to show some of the things that they're working on. This has sort of caused the resurrection of the practice of, making demos for games and distributing them. I actually have some opinions about how useful that is, but maybe that is a topic for another video. However, a lot of you only come for the cultist stuff. If this is something that cultist people are interested in, let me know in the comments, because right now most of that stuff has been left to articles and sort of my own ruminations. And if that's something you're interested in sort of seeing expanded on, this is something that I can sort of add to the list of things that I do. So in any case, I know a lot of you have been looking forward to Book of Hours. That is, at least at the current moment, on track for being released in June. So it's not that far away. But if you have been waiting for your chance to get your hands on Book of Hours, you should take a look at the Steam page now, because unless they remove the demo, it will be there. I'm sure a number of you have noticed that I did a stream with it already about 3 hours. There has been at least one patch to the game. There likely will be another one before too long. I mean, I don't know if it'll be before the demo goes live, but in any case, I suspect that there will be another patch before the next fest is done. Just to sort of, there were a couple things that stopped me from making some progress, but the good news is those are gone. So for those of you looking for the follow-up to Cultist Simulator, that will be something that is available for you so long as you have a Steam account. On top of that, I did just want to draw people's attention to the Locksmith's Dream. This does come up every once in a while when you load up Cultist Simulator. Now, this is run by another company called Tricuspid Limited. However, they know Weather Factory, they know Alexis and Lottie, and I don't know if there's any tickets available still, but I do know there are some events coming up and fairly quickly. I believe there is one in March, and it looks like they're doing a ball. In fact, I took a look at some of the footage that they put together for their website, and the event has actually changed a little bit. It looks like they've been adding more things. So I do want to kind of draw people's attention to it, mostly because it is more costly, right? If you're going to be flying out to Wales, particularly if you're someone like me in North America, that's not the sort of thing that you do on a whim. But it is actually something that I don't think there's actually ever been anything negative said about it. And if you've gone on Reddit, there are actually a few people who've been sort of sharing the pins and all of that from it. So this is something that I do want to just draw people's attention to. The Locksmith Stream is still a thing that's going on, and I believe there are 2 events that you can still do bookings for, although again, there's a limited number of spots. There's only so many rooms at Treowin. So if you were thinking about that, definitely take a look, especially because I think the ballroom dancing is actually just a one-off. I'm sure if it's successful, they'll probably do another one. But I mean, I'm sure that's also true for the Locksmith's Dream. I don't know whether or not it's an ongoing thing or if it's a limited event. I always think for these sorts of things, it's best to assume that unless they say they're doing another event, assume that it's what they've advertised is what's there, especially because they did do sort of pre-bookings for this time around. Anyways, it's like 5 minutes of advertising, but it is a great time to be into Cultist Simulator stuff, because we have this wonderful game which is still getting updates, although I'm sure there will be a little bit more attention placed on Book of Hours given how close it is to the release. If you have been looking to try out Book of Hours, you can try out the demo. I had a great time with it when I played it, I think on Thursday. And then, of course, Locksmith Stream for those of you who fancy experiencing it in the real world. Let us continue on with the 9th episode of The Exile. The last little thing I wanted to talk about was the likelihood of me doing videos for this week, so things have not really let up. I think actually if there is a week that I'm likely to miss out on an episode for, it's this week. Now, I feel a little bit better because... Oh, sorry, actually, one other thing on Book of Hours. Weather Factory will be streaming at, I think it's 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time on Thursday. I believe that is the 9th. So if you would like to see the developers playing the Book of Hours demo, that will be happening on Steam next week as well. But yeah, for myself, I am definitely feeling the pressure on getting episodes in. And I think if I'm going to miss a week, I'm going to... it's likely going to be this one. So I don't plan on it, and I'm hoping not to. But if there's a missing video, it's because I ran out of time. The foe caught up with me. However, it doesn't seem like a bad week to do that sort of thing because, of course, there's lots of cultist events going on, and I'm sure a number of you would appreciate a chance to, spend the time and not have to catch up with the videos. But I'll do my best. And finally, there was the cliffhanger that I ended on, and I'm sure you've noticed that I have actually put the Gris guitar. Now, I don't know if I'm going to lose it. The one worry about it is the burning sound it seems to make, but it doesn't say burn, and I think it's best to just play the game with the best knowledge that you have. I also have a guess that it's not going to be lost. Obviously, this is huge if I lose it, but I don't know. Why do you play something like the Exile and not put things at risk? So, the horned axe shadow, the smell of hawthorn, the color of sunset bisected with shadow. The horned axe is strong here. At the fane of owls. The eyes of the owls in the hawthorn tree glimmer pale gold. There's a flare of light, too, beneath the tree. A tall man in a snakeskin jacket has just lit a cigarette. In the matchlight, his face is lean, dark, and familiar. "Hello again," he says. "This is a surprise. I suppose the double edge brought you here to make a point. She won't want any new edge dyads in the world. Do you have something to show me?" I should have read this before this event. In the foothills of Mount Ida, in the precincts of the ruined Minoan Lodge of Doors, there is a hawthorn tree of great size. It will be deep night when I arrive. All around in the countryside, the cicadas will buzz like saws, but at the fane, they're always silent. I, too, will find myself reluctant to speak aloud. I know these things from the last time I was there, the night I learnt my father's name. The description of the cicadas is worth remembering. We are, we're in the Mediterranean. Always reminds me of, I think it's the Phaedrus that refers to the sound of the cicadas. Anyways, the stranger nods and stubs out his cigarette on the trunk of the tree. He begins to peel an orange instead. It's always too late eventually, he observes, through a mouthful of orange. But until then it's not. Alexandros thought he was important. The lionsmith never did. He passes me the remnant of his cigarette. Some things are better left unsaid, he adds over his shoulder as he saunters off. It was nice to see you again. Okay, I'll confess I'm actually a little... I want to say a little lost, but I definitely feel like I don't have a good grip on where I want to be. So we're sending discreet message from Candia Heraclion. If I run, I should run somewhere I have an old friend, or at least an old acquaintance. We'll search for a place to flee to. There's a small risk of creating a trace. Worse, the Reckoners might get there before you. And you're a long way from likely possibilities. It will take more time. So, I think in this case, I don't know how much cash I want to send out. But yeah, let's just unpause. We'll see what happens. Okay, well, we didn't lose the guitar, and we got something. A half-smoked cigarette. Once at a place and time of power and division, this knew the hands and mouth of a renegade Knocklong. In at least one history, he finished smoking it. So 2 knock, 2 heart, and it is 10 minutes. Now this is interesting. So what's the plan? Relax, right. Just going to take a minute here to reacquaint myself with the deadliest of weapons. No reckoner is ever foolish enough to pass into the higher levels of the Mansis. To draw the attention of a true long, or their masters, would invite annihilation. But my foe has some traffic with the hours of struggle and conquest. He enjoyed certain protections. Boldness draws attention. This will destroy any current obscurity and create a trace, which I don't want to do. Medical credentials I require a place for, so that's not going to help me out. I'm assuming this... Yeah, we're not ready for. I'm assuming this is just relaxing. Yeah. Okay, travel. Oh, what's that? What's the story with Georgie? Right, create a false trail. Reconnoiter, we can't do yet. And then relinquish, for the most part. It's about making cash. What's with the money? Nothing. I'm not going to relinquish the stolen years yet. Okay. I think I need at least 8 cash, but we'll just so I can keep all the options open. But all right, I don't have any people in Tripoli. I don't remember it at all. But quite some time ago, in the days of the Ottomans, I was born here, Tripoli de la Veste. I don't have any people in. Okay, it's the same text. So more Lionsmith. So this is the funny thing. I think I've said this before, but. So I'm obviously a massive fan of The Watchmen, or if it's not obvious, I'm now saying it. Like, in terms of hours, probably my closest interest and alignment would be The Watchmen. But I actually quite like The Colonel, too. For some reason, I seem to like The Gods from Flesh, or Hours from Flesh. No disrespect to the Linesmith, but I'm seeing him show up way too much. Alright, so I can start sending out money. We'll definitely reconnoiter. Walk the city seeking opportunities. And yeah, I think I'm going to send a little money out. Send cash ahead. I might need to leave in a hurry. I can prepare the way by spending funds ahead of a possible destination. Of course, if I never go there, the funds will be lost. So the trick here is that I want to... so cash on its own isn't worth that much. One of the things I want to do is boost up my comfort. And of course, my guess here is that the stolen years, stolen decades don't actually get you that much. I think this is one of the misunderstandings I had when I first did Exile. It was that I sort of held on to the stolen years and decades thinking that these were a thing of value, but of course they're valuable because I can turn them into other things. So in this case here, I've done an okay job of getting cash, but I haven't translated that cash quite into comfort yet, which is going to be the ultimate goal. Now again, you do the best with what you've got, but in this case here, I want to make sure that I have enough cash to be able to use my medical credentials. That seems to be the best way for me to turn the stolen years into money. But I also, I want to make sure that they don't become sort of a liability in terms of taking a really long time to get out of. Oh, there's the trace. Okay, so official connections. I may have to leave in a hurry, so I think in this case here, I'm just going to keep sending the money at this point, even if it means that I miss out on a place. I think we're at a point now where I need to start worrying about the... I need to start worrying about the reckoners. This will annihilate my obscurity, obviously, by hanging out, but it's worth it to me. I think if I can make a little money out of this, then it's okay. It's if I don't make the money that I'm worried. Interesting. Another horned axe shadow. The smell of hawthorn and the color of sunset bisected with shadow. The horned axe is strong here. Reserve. I'll investigate a little more closely. This will renew the lifespan of an opportunity in case you need it later. I'm not not really able to use it for anything else. Just one slip. I've been careful, but not careful enough. A trace on the board will sometimes draw reckoners. So I have some opportunities here, right? The underworld and the official connection are the sort of thing that I can use to combat the reckoner. But a lot of this depends on whether or not I have an opportunity that's worth it. There is actually an argument here, right, that with the obscurity, perhaps I just go on the offensive against the long and we use that to boost my edge. What is that tingling sensation on the back of my neck? Someone is looking for me. Light in the skull, and another trace. Okay, so there are heights. Looks like we're not going to have any opportunities to practice. So, I think this is a net loss for me, to be completely honest. But I'm going to... There'll be some things that I do. Reckoners have evidence that I'm here. They're summoning help to smoke me out. So I think at this point, even if I tried to pack everything up, the obscurity is going to be lost to the Reckoner. Now, it is worth saying that as long as I don't lose items, it might be an idea to try and take on the foe. Actually, I wonder... It's tempting to go for this given what we've got here. You know what? I am going to do it. No Reckoner is ever foolish enough to pass into the higher levels of the Mansis. To draw the attention of a true Long or their masters would invite annihilation, but my foe has some traffic with the hours of struggle and conquest. He enjoyed certain protections. So in this case, I'm just acknowledging that I'm going to lose the obscurity here. But I should be trying to get rid of the money. Search. I've seen a familiar face in crowds. Too familiar. So this is a Reckoner Assassin. This is actually good news for us because we're going to be able to employ Georgiou, the Profane Weapon, and Betty's Blade. Alright, dangerous possibilities. Even my foe has weaknesses, but he guarded them carefully. Discover what distractions will work against your foe, and you'll be able to choose the most advantageous place to fight him. So, unknown weakness. Get our Operation of the Strix back. Temptation, Defiance. Caput Garret Lupinium, they used to say of outlaws. This is the line of division, or something like that. Latin was never my strong point, but I'm on the wrong side of that line of division now. But perhaps that's also an opportunity. So I was kind of hoping that this might level up my my edge, but it's all good. We'll in this case, I'm just going to... I'll just take the shot on the... I'll take the shot without using the edge here. All right, roadside shrine to an iron saint. Beneath a rocky overhang, an ancient cast iron statue stands in a whitewashed shelter. Its face has been scarred to unrecognizability, but one hand still holds a spear. there's the Colonel. Alright. Still reconnoiter. Again, I don't really seem to have much in terms of opportunities, but let's see what we can do against the assassin. Reinforcements. A Reckoner assassin has evidence that I'm here, but they haven't moved against me. This can only mean that they've sent for their superior. When there are 3 traces on the board, an underboss can appear. So that is quite a worry for me, actually. So I'm trying to think what I can do to get the next step here. Palpable hit. I've struck and faded back into the city. 2 wounds will kill most Reckoners. 4 wounds will kill an underboss. Okay, so we've got the Grand Townhouse. The question is, am I willing to put the effort in? Actually, this time I think I am. I'm still going to push ahead with the... I'm going to send the money ahead, but I think with the Grand Townhouse I can get a little bit of... I can still get a little bit of money before we're in trouble. Alright, I've struck and faded back into the city. So let's see, I'm going to use Betty's Blade here. It is done. If I need to run, I might have a softer landing. So technically I should be hanging on to the 6 cash here, 4 for the Grand Townhouse and 2 for the exit. But I'm going to keep sending stuff ahead. Nuts. I know the signs. A minor Reckoner Lord has entered the city. My foe can't be too far behind. The more traces on the board, the more quickly your pursuers will move against you. Reckoner Underboss is gaining information on my movements and on me. Okay, so it's a little more worrying. Okay, we won't worry about the warehouse. Ill met. This one is better or luckier than I'd expected. I've done them no harm. Okay, so now I'm getting a bit worried. Let's buy the townhouse. I was feeling very confident in my ability to sort of take them on, but yeah. A good place to rest up or invite contacts I want to impress. I've taken on a couple of discreet staff and installed extra locks on the door, but this won't slow down my pursuers much. Okay, not relaxing. We're in a sanatorium. Once I've treated a couple of wealthy widows, the word will spread quickly. A reasonably safe way to convert stolen lifespan into cash. Heart aspect cards will often be useful when running a sanatorium. So essentially here, as long as these are basically attacks on my body, I'm going to be able to manage it. It's the attacks against my wealth that are going to be the biggest worry. So we're going to continue with the same story that we've got here, right? We're gonna run the sanatorium. Oh, a crudely carved image is a good one to pick up, so we will take that opportunity too. I know the signs a minor Reckoner Lord has entered the city. My foe can't be too far behind. The more traces on the board, the more quickly your pursuers will be able to move against you. We should still reconnoiter. Hang on. Okay, so if I want to travel, I've basically locked myself in until we've finished the sanatorium, but we'll see whether or not we can take them out. Course of the Heart. Whenever the principle of heart is implicated, I may gain vitality. Now, that can heal me. So, good news there. I don't think I'm quite ready to put the half-smoked cigarette into use. A hostile move. The underboss is attacking me directly. Direct Reckoner attacks cause wounds if they succeed. They usually succeed unless you provide a card to defend yourself. You can also try to bribe them with a decade, although underbosses are always greedy. Okay, so we don't have any obvious moves against them yet. Let's try the Horned Axe Shadow, because I want to see what happens. Again, this is the time for experimentation. Alright, a Venetian Mommet. An ugly little thing, but there's a cheering warmth to it. So we'll add that. Delight and its daughters. I'm addressing this challenge with Grail. It will increase subtlety. So we're laughing as far as the heart is concerned. The rest, you know, we can just keep mailing things off. Now, opportunities-wise, use an edge technique to attack my pursuer. I'm actually curious if going directly like this works out, or if I need something else. Okay, secluded villa is not an option anymore. So now we know we can afford to take a hit. Pursuers stymied. Reckoners are wary of the hours. The shadows here are sharp with the presence of the horned axe. My pursuer hesitated, and I slipped away. Ilmet, this one is better or luckier than I'd expected. I've done them no harm. So bad luck, but we'll do our best. Okay, now I've lost the opportunity to use official connections or underworld connections to stop an attack on my property. That could be a problem. An underboss is going after my assets. You can preempt them by spending a connection. Yes. Okay, so I need to hope that I find something. The import license will not help me. So I think at this point they're just going to gobble up one of my assets. If it's Betty's Blade, I'm going to get very angry. Okay, the Bitter Black, out of everything we could have lost, the Bitter Black Salts are tolerable. Let's try and get this C back. I should have attacked with Betty's Blade or the Profane Weapon. But I'm, like, at this point I'm starting to really bungle this, so... Jesus. Okay, everything on the board now is something that I don't want to lose. And I think we're too late to claim... I think at this point it's too late to claim something in return, so... Well, let's give it the 2 seconds. Okay, yeah, that doesn't help me. So we may lose the Profane Weapon. Actually, it's ideal if I lose the Profane Weapon. But we'll see. So I think it's fair to say at this point that this trip was not worth it. Patients come and go to my sanatorium. No, my staff will see you to your room. Alright, so we're done. Yeah, we lost the Profane Weapon. That's unlucky as far as like just being able to kind of get things done. But I think like I can live with that loss. If I have to lose an item, the Profane Weapon is... Okay, here we go. So, obviously I need to give up the asset for it. Okay, so the foe is on their way. I'm happy that I've hit him with a wound, but this is not really what I need right now. So let's employ the... So this is gonna give us some information about what the foe is, kind of gets pushed back by. So our last moves here, basically it's going to be get ready to leave. As soon as we have the opportunity, we're gonna sell the villa, get ready to go to Tripoli. I'm gonna do whatever I can against the foe, which admittedly is not much. And then buy the Profane Weapon. actually, it is the end, it is the half-hour mark, and I am struggling to get episodes done. So, in preparation for the foe's arrival, I think we're going to end it here. So yeah, overall, not a great round. I think if we had a bit more luck against the assassin, this would have turned out differently. But essentially, I'm down the obscurity, I'm down the bitter black salts, and I'm down the money for the profane weapon, on top of anything else that comes up. I believe the underboss still sticks around when the foe is in the area. So, you know, at that point, this is going to be harder than I can handle. The only difference here is that we've now gotten to the uncovering weaknesses. I'm not 100% sure how to work with this yet, but I will at least, if the foe is going to be on the board, I'll be able to use the sea and the trembling heat to push them back. But in any case, thank you very much for watching. Tuesdays are days I usually take to myself, so I suspect there will not be a video for that, although you never know with Book of Hours stuff. I might try and upload something for that, but just assume that tomorrow there won't be anything. And then on Wednesday, all going well, I should have another video ready for you for this series. But as with the last couple of weeks, it is touch and go on getting videos done. I want to do my best to try and alert people ahead of time if that's if I think that's a possibility, but you never know until it happens, right? So in any case, thank you for watching. Take care.